Hello YouTubers, it is the Slow Fox again on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm actually in my office at work, which makes me a little nervous, but no one ever comes to my office hours, so I shouldn't have to interrupt. So I actually did something today worth talking about. Yesterday, or the day before, I'd watched a video by MainelyButch, which I found quite powerful, and I think I will put a link to that video down there, because you guys should watch it if you haven't yet. She has a really good point, which was that this violence or bullying or whatever against LGBT people has been increasing. I guess, yeah, it really does seem like it has been increasing, and we've got to do something about it. So I hadn't really thought about it quite that way until I saw MainelyButch's video, and then I felt a little guilty, and I was like, yeah, I guess I should try to do something. So I thought, you know, I'm a teacher. I have a captive audience, which can come in handy. So, yesterday at the end of my Tuesday class, and then today at the end of both of my two classes, I gave a little spiel where I tried to make the students aware that this violence or hatred was on the rise, and I mentioned the suicides by the young gay people, and Palladino, who's running for governor in New York, who I hadn't actually heard anything about until I saw the video by MainelyButch where she talks about all the crazy, hateful stuff that he's been saying. And just a little side note about that. So I wanted to see what exactly he said, so I looked up a video on YouTube of him talking, like on the news. And under this video, there were like 5 pages of comments that YouTube viewers had left that were spewing this same hateful, like terribly homophobic stuff. Like stuff like gays are just spreading AIDS and they should all be killed. That kind of stuff, which I thought was crazy because, you know, I know some people think that, but I didn't think that it was as widespread as it seems. You know, to think that in the course of like 1 or 2 days, just YouTube viewers would leave 5 pages worth of hateful comments? That's crazy. So I was like, yeah, I should really do something or say something. So I mentioned these things in my class. I just took like probably 5 minutes to talk about this. And I said that this hatred seems to be on the rise and that it involves everybody. There's also hatred against people for race, religion. I know that white supremacist groups got a huge, like, exponential rise in members after Obama was elected, which is just crazy. So I emphasize that this hatred affects everybody, and everybody can be potentially a victim of some sort of hatred, so we have to stand up for each other. And I encourage them to not let their friends or people around them say hateful things, because I said that even if something seems like a little comment, it can end up affecting somebody in a really huge way, as the bullying did for these gay young people who committed suicide. So that's basically what I said. I was pretty nervous when I was talking about it, and in one of my classes my voice cracked, but only once, so that was good. But I was pretty nervous, and in 2 of my classes, I couldn't quite get this out in my first class, but in the other 2, I managed to get myself to do it. I talked about how it was National Coming Out Week. I don't know if there is a National Coming Out Week, but I know that the other day was National Coming Out Day, so I'm like, well, we'll just extend for the week. Okay, so I talked about that. I said what it was, and I said that I wanted to, you know, I believed in the mission of Coming Out Day, which is to get people to come out so that other people can know that they have gay friends or gay acquaintances and that these people are not just crazy pedophiles or whatever. So I just said to two of my classes, so I will come out to you and tell you that I'm gay. And that did make me nervous. My hands were shaking a bit. I wasn't like terribly nervous though, so that was good. But this is only like the first time that I've ever really said it in front of the class in that way. In a previous class this summer, I did come out to them, but that was because they were asking me if I was married, and somebody was like, "What's your partner's name?" You know, like, because she could tell that I looked gay. So I did end up coming out then, but I didn't like stand in front of the class and tell them, "I want to tell you that I'm gay." So that's the first time that I've ever done it. I was nervous, but it was okay. And I also mentioned this quote that I've heard. I forget where it's from. I think it's from somebody around the time of the Holocaust who said something along the lines of, they came for the communists, but I wasn't a communist, so I didn't do anything. Then they came for the gays, but I wasn't gay, so I didn't do anything. Then they came for the Jews, but I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't do anything. And then they came for me, but it was too late because there was no one left to help me. So I told that to my class, and I told them to think about that. So that's basically how it went. It went quite well. Let's see, I think, yeah, in all three of my classes, there was somebody who came up to me at the end of class to tell me that they appreciated what I said. No one actually said, like, "Oh, I'm gay, that means so much to me," but it's not that I expect that. But at least a couple people commented that they appreciated it. When I was talking, I could see a couple people, like, nodding their heads. So it was good. I mean, I still have yet to go back to class, you know, tomorrow and on Friday to see them, but I'm sure it'll be fine, because when I came out to my students in the summer class that I had, it was fine. So, yeah. And luckily, I'm lucky enough to live in a place where I know for sure, well, I mean, I'm already out to my coworkers, so I have no fear of that affecting my job, which I'm thankful for, because I know some people in other parts of the country really do have to deal with that fear, unfortunately. Yep, so that's the report. Mainly Butch. I hope you are slightly more satisfied after hearing that at least one person has actually done something, put their voice out there. Alright, that's it for now. Talk to you later. Bye.